All right, so welcome to my breakdown of the OMG video, the OMG 2K a day mindset. All right, so we're gonna break down why you can do 2K and how to use these links. Okay, so I'm king of the one take Darrells. I was gonna do a fancy board and all that other stuff. I don't have the time. So I wanted to break this down for the folks who are really understanding this and who want to change their life, change their lifestyle, and why this stuff makes sense once you kind of understand why it works, why it was created, and what is your own why. Make sense? Of course it does. All right, so let's hop on in here. All right, so the breakdown of the OMG 2K a day video pretty much works like this. All right, so a lot of people are looking at the links, which is a ton of them. And I said, well, if you focus on three, just start with the three, okay? So just starting with the three, I said in the video, hey, you can make $100 to $300 a day. Just, even if you're just kind of limited budget, you're just getting started, you're just learning some of these things, even just taking a couple of the links and doing these things correctly, you would be amazed at the results. All right, so most people are gonna go, well, how can I take this $100 or how can I take $100 and turn it into more money, or how can I increase my budget by $100? Well, I actually take things like that and I go like, how can I take $100 and increase my budget by 1,000, or increase my residual or expendable income by 1,000. So the bottom half of the link in the video, it says, what is residual income? Residual income is something that you do one time and then you continually get paid for it. When I discovered that I could do a television commercial or radio broadcast, I would still be getting checks off of something I created once. That's when I started understanding the power of media and what Facebook really does, what Instagram really does, what WhatsApp really does, and so on and so forth and so forth. All right, so how do we get basically from A to B to C to D to man? That's how you did it. I got you, Darrell. So this is what we're going to break down. All right, so I did say in the video, you cannot start with zero. Now, that is not an absolute. I didn't necessarily start with zero, but I started with a very limited budget. There's something that I said that is very crucial. You have to have at least one income. Unless you either inherited, you got some great gift or something. The lottery, I don't play the lottery. I think I bought a ticket twice in my life just to see how it worked. But I'd rather gamble on me than gamble on the other stuff that doesn't technically work for the masses. It works for distinct individuals by random luck. So here's what we put together in the links. All right, so let's start with the NetSpend link. All right, now hopefully you're doing this, and even if you're watching the video, at least you can break down and see like, oh, that's why you do that. All right, so the NetSpend link is a nice link. It says 20 for you, 20 for me. All right, so $20. If you use the NetSpend link, how does that happen? All right, so you click on the link in this YouTube video. Great, all right? So it'll take you to NetSpend, and you're like, I've heard of NetSpend card. I don't know why I necessarily would need that, but hey, it's $20, right? Well, in order to access that $20 for free, just by ordering a NetSpend card, you got to load it with $40. And you're like, now I got to load $40 in order to get $20. And it costs $3.95 to load it. You can pick it up at a CVS, any like corner store, Walmart, those kind of things. But now I got to spend $3.95 to load it. So really, Darrell, I'm only coming out with $16.05 profit. And well, it's an extra $16 and it's free. Okay, let me go ahead and do it. I'll load the $40 on it. And, so yeah, I made 16 bucks, Darrell. How's that going to change my life? That's when we dig into what's called mindset, right? All right, so I did not think that way when I found out about the NetSpend card. And I'll tell you why. The first thing was I got a NetSpend card. I got a NetSpend card after I read a book called Financial Peace by David Ramsey. All right, so I read the whole book. Actually, a friend of mine sat me down, and me and my fiance at the time, we had dinner with these friends. The friends, married couple, they had kids, nice house, a couple of cars. It seemed like they were doing well. And he just invited me over. He's like, hey, I heard you're getting married. I would love to just have you over for dinner and just talk through and see what I could help you with, or just come hang out with me and the wife, right? Incredible. It's that southern, lifestyle of like, hey, just come over and have dinner. All right. Now, mind you, we're in California. So those are the kind of people I attracted, and I continue to attract those type of people today. All right. So what happened? We ended up talking about a lot of things that I had not had a chance to talk to a father figure or a big brother figure about. There's some things that he shared with me that really blew my mind, and he suggested this book called Financial Peace by David Ramsey, especially before I actually went down the aisle and got married. He said, this would be a good book. I recommend you read it. All right, so by the time I got to the NetSpend card, all right, so with the NetSpend card, here's what affiliate and residual income does. All right, so affiliate income is different from residual income in the sense of, if you find a product, let's say it's an iron, and you use this iron, you're like, man, this is the best. I mean, this iron is light, the water is easy to get in, the cord just snaps right back, and you might call a friend and say, hey, are you still spending time with that old man? You should get this iron, so on and so forth. Well, companies spend tons of money to advertise. Affiliate marketing or social media marketing changed a lot of that, where you can actually get a rebate or a gift card, or instead of them spending $200 to get a customer, referral marketing saves them millions, and it allows you, most people share stuff that they like. All right, so the NetSpend card, I found out about the NetSpend card when I was a struggling comedian, struggling actor in Los Angeles. So I was doing telemarketing, and someone said on the phone, they were like, hey, I like what you're saying, I like your product, but I don't know you from Adam. I don't know you. You could be on an island in Hawaii somewhere selling me something. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I was like, but you know what? I have a NetSpend card. It's not connected to any of my regular accounts. Me and my wife love it. And so he was like, really? And a lot of the things that I was doing, I'm just a simple guy. Like, even though I was doing sales, if I didn't believe in it, or if the product didn't help people, I wouldn't sell it. I'm just that type of guy. I was like, I'm not going to sell it. So the people who ended up hiring me for 4 hours a day in Los Angeles, and then I could go do my auditions, they were like, but he tells the truth. It's like I would break off of the script, but I would tell the truth. I was like, this is what I use. And so they let me get away with it, and I closed more sales than a lot of people. Because I'm just honest with people. I'm like, hey, here's what I do. This is what happened to me, and here's what it did. So the NetSpend card, I use it. And with the link, not only if you get an affiliate link, that means instead of just getting $20, the person that you share it with also gets $20. So instead of going, I got to load it with 40, I loaded the NetSpend card with 100, right? So instead of like, oh, I'm only going to get 20 or $16.05. Every time that someone signed up through my affiliate link, I made $20, $20, $20, $20. So I actually made $100. Now, I started with $100 because I loaded it with 100. But I started with 100, made 100, and I gave away 100. Because the other people was like, hey, $20. And I literally made I made like $100 within the first month. Now, 30 days or 1 day. That's what I want to talk about as far as mindset. Because most people may go, well, I don't want to be selling to my friends and that kind of thing. Here's the situation. I love NetSpend card. I still use it today. This is 15 years later. I still have a NetSpend card. You know why? That very first NetSpend card, here's what was happening when I was learning about budgeting as a young, up-and-coming married guy trying to figure things out in Los Angeles on a comedian's salary. All right, so my wife and I were doing the things. My wife was working. I was doing stand-up, which didn't make a lot of money in Los Angeles because you do a lot of free shows. But I was also doing the acting. But you only get paid once you actually book work. So you spend a lot of time churning. Well, rent is due every month. The bills are due every month. Things are due every month. And in the very beginning, my wife and I, as we were figuring things out as a young married couple, we were getting a lot of overdraft fees. And because of those overdraft fees, that's when I discovered the NetSpend card, because if you load the card, if the money is not there, it won't come out the card. So that stopped the overdraft fees. So we were working on the budget. We killed that part of it. The second part is like, why were we getting all these overdraft fees? Well, we were on the verge of the whole internet marketing. So you could go online and buy things off Amazon, but people didn't know what these companies were yet. So that's why I had shared when I was meeting all these new people on the phone, they were like, even though I could go back and show them the website of the different companies I was telemarketing for, eventually it wasn't a credibility issue per se, but I realized in my own life, when you took out the card or a card and you used your bank draft card that's connected to your personal accounts, if you aren't sure of that relationship yet, or you don't know about recurring fees or hidden fees, it can hit your bank. Your bank's going to charge you. And until you have it put down in your budget, the time when it's going to come out exactly, if you don't have all those things in place, you're going to get hit with the overdraft fees. So I discovered the NetSpend card, and my wife and I used that only for new relationships, new things we were using in online purchases. So that if it got stolen or hacked or whatever, $100? We lost $40, $80 maybe, or less than that, and it's not connected to our other accounts. Now, we only started using it for online purchases that were new, the companies we didn't know yet. We could figure out the billing, but if they said it was going to come out on a certain day and it came out early or something like that, we knew we didn't get extra charges and we could fix it to where it fits in our budget. And the last thing is, what I discovered is by loading that card with $40 or $100 or whatever I did, at that point, I had already started learning that I am a professional actor / comedian in Los Angeles. I needed to separate my personal funds from my business funds. Guess what I loaded that NetSpend card with? The $100 that I took became my business funds business account. So I start using that card when I would meet people and tell them a little bit about what I do as a comedian, or I went on an audition, or I just wanted to stop and have coffee, I would use that card. Now, those charges, those things that are on that card are tax deductible. And This is 10 years later. This company is the company, I own a franchise, so I'm not just telling you this just to tell you this. Now, I'm not your personal tax person. I'm not a financial advisor. That's why we have the disclaimers in the description, because you do need a personal person to talk through these things and run through with the questions that you have about how this fits into your budget and your lifestyle. This, if you signed up for the email, we can send you one of these. Now, depending on if you're in a specific business or starting something from scratch, you will do a consultation. We'll talk to you for 15 to 45 minutes and help you through it, okay? So I found out later, way before I had the franchise company, My One Stop Taxes, that most of these things that I was using this for were tax deductible. I was using it to discuss business, scripts, things like that. So being able to take that $16 profit and pay for someone's meal, it helped the relationship, and then it also helped the credibility of, I never half-Z'd and that kind of stuff when we were going out with people. I had the ability to use the extra money that was coming on that card. I had money to put back into my business that was building its own residual income. And hopefully that makes sense. So that's what I mean with the mindset. All right, so just the net spend itself. So you can go from $16 to $100 in a month. Or you can do what I did and start looking at these links differently. All right, so let's say you get the net spend card and you're like, hey, I grabbed the affiliate link. I'm just gonna post that on my Facebook right at the top under my picture where it says, hey, what do I do? Or, hey, how are you? Welcome to my page. Every time someone clicks on that link, if they actually sign up for a net spend card and they kind of understand, or send them to this video, then they may get that card. Then let's say you have $100. Now, you take the Robinhood link. Again, Robinhood is it's an incredible app, incredible software that you can start learning about what it takes to buy pieces of a company. All right. And again, I'm not your investment advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just sharing to you the things that I have done that have made me hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars in a day. Okay. All right. So now you got the Robinhood link. The Robinhood link, if you become an affiliate, will pay you up to $500. You get a free stock, and then every time someone else uses your link, they get a free stock, you get a free stock. Up to $500 in free stocks. But let's say the stock that you get is $3.87. Let's say the next one is $14. Let's say the next one is $1. This, once they max out at the stocks value of $500, that doesn't mean it's $500. That means you have a cushion of $500 plus whatever those stocks were worth. All right, so again, I'm not your financial advisor, but understand what that means. That means if you now have a separate account that's earning dividends and interest, that if people click on it, if people watch a video, or people use like, hey, this is how I learned, that $500 can easily turn into, I'm gonna tell you my Netflix story at the end of this. All right, so you got the Robinhood link, Wedbull. Again, the individual stocks can be between 12 to 1,400 or worth. It's a random which stock they give you, but it's computer generated. Now, they put a 10-day hold on when you can actually utilize the funds of that stock. So understand, the whole thing I'm trying to get you to avoid is, I got extra money, now you just take it out and spend it. Please do not do that. The thing about things like Financial Peace by Dave Ramsey, and I don't use that book anymore. This is 15 years ago. I had to actually kind of upgrade and do some different things. I would recommend a book called Think and Grow Rich. And I would also recommend Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. That's what I would recommend today. All right, but the Financial Peace was a great book to begin with. Incredible to begin with, to start with. All right, so the Wedbull, you do have to start with $100. You want to fund the account, and you're going to get a free stock. Now, if other people use your affiliate link, then you get more free stocks, 1 stock, 2 stocks. So that account can also balloon up to $1,400 or so, or more. Who knows? So, all right, those 3 links and the mindset and using these tools in these type of ways. The difference with me and why I do these videos is, guys, all right, I didn't have a lot of time. LA is an expensive place to live. It was a city and an industry that does millions upon millions of dollars a day, sometimes an hour. And so you can utilize these tools in 30 days or 1 day. It's up to you. But I'm telling you, I learned how to put together a company business credit and fund it within 24 hours. I didn't have a choice. I did not have a choice. I had a family. I had an industry that was very good at stripping away your profits by not letting you know that you are the commodity. You know, as a performer, actor, that's why those big checks end up getting split between your agent, your manager, your publicist, your personal trainer, your housekeeper, and your makeup artist. Like, you are your own business. All right. So I had to learn how to utilize these tools quickly and succinctly, make money so that my wife and I, bills could be paid and we could buy a house and cars and those kind of things, which we did. Now, the last thing I want to share is this. All right. Which is going to make my video a little bit longer. It's already been 20 minutes, so it is worth it. Hey, if $2,000, if just $2,000 is worth it to you, make sure you make a comment, like, subscribe, or share this video, because we're putting it out so that people have access to it. But so most people are going to grab a cup of coffee and a donut if you tell them, yeah, you got to watch a 28-minute video. So I'm going to go ahead and share my Netflix story, but I'm not going to rush it. All right. So here's my Netflix story. All right. So we've already shared that my wife and I, we were married, young married, we were doing our thing. Like, life is good, right? All right. So as we were figuring things out, trying to pay for rent in Los Angeles, car, going back and forth to work, traffic, fuel, things we were doing as a married couple, and me as figuring out that I am actually a business owner. All right, so I had read a couple of books, Think and Grow Rich and things like that, and I started understanding that I need to do something different to take our life in a different direction, financially and financial freedom. So one of the things that I learned is all right. So I was looking for ways to what is investment? Like, what is stocks? Like, how do I do that? And so I started studying all these things about like companies and how stocks work and those kind of things. And I found this fund that was doing really, really well. And you needed $10,000 in order to even get into the fund. Like, it was definitely like, hey, we're just struggling people here, working class. I don't have a financial advisor. I was learning a lot of this stuff myself. So in order to get into this fund that was doing extremely well, it was $10,000 to buy in. But then as I started reading it, it said, unless you do direct deposit of $100 a month. I said, wait a minute. Instead of doing $10,000 at once, you can do $100 and you can be in this fund. And it is what's called a mutual fund. All right. And so I talked to my wife and I said, hey, honey, we're taking $50 out of your paycheck, $50 out of my paycheck. It's in the budget, and we're going to put it in this fund that it's like a savings account. We're not going to touch it. She's like, okay, sounds good. All right. So every paycheck, well, not even every paycheck, because we only did it monthly. $50 came out of my wife's paycheck. $50 came out of my acting paycheck. And so $100 a month would go into this fund, and we were basically just investing what's called dollar cost averaging, and also with the budget, it just went straight to the fund. Like, we didn't see it, so it didn't exist. So we learned to live without that $100. That's what I'm wanting to make sure you understand now. If you're trying to make affiliate marketing money or marketing money, like, I'm going to take it and use it, it could work, but you want to first start off with understanding, like, what are your basic personal expenses, and understanding those, knowing what those are, have those separate, and what you need to make from your hobby or your goal or vacation or the things that you want to do on that end, separated. So you know what has to be paid every month, and you know what's discretionary. All right, so flash forward, time moves on, things are happening, life is good, things going up and down. Well, my wife's like, one day, I want a house. Why? I was like, we live in a house. We're renting a house. She's like, I want my own house. So we want our own house. I said, oh yeah. So again, I started doing my research, and I went talked to a real estate person who used to be in the entertainment industry, and she actually ended up becoming my personal manager, which was awesome. But so we talked about the whole real estate thing, but she said, what's your budget? Check your credit, so on and so forth. And she said, this is typically how much it would cost. And I was like, cool. So I went back home and I started looking at our budget, and I was like, I wonder what happened to that account that we set up with that whole mutual fund thing. Checked into that account, and the principal and the interest had done what's called compounding. So it's basically like taking a credit card and going in reverse by having the interest paying you. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, and so I talked to my wife. I was like, we have money. We have some money. It's not enough to buy a house, but we have money. And we ended up breaking down a couple of other things. But long story short, we had enough money to purchase the house. We made an additional about $10,000 on the purchase. And that mutual fund is what we used to cover closing costs for a house in Los Angeles. So let that sink in. So that being said, that was my first experience at learning like how some of these things work if you put them together and you have a mindset of focus, discipline, and organizing your life the way you want it to be. So the last part of that is this. Once we got that house situated and settled, I said, I like this. So then I took some extra money, and I found out about this little company that I was doing some meetings, and I had been doing meetings with distribution because I had filmed properties now. I had written scripts and was meeting with a lot of studios, and they were like, we're going to send this around the world, and started learning about how that stuff works. So I met I was dealing with a little company called Blockbuster, and this was about 2 years before Netflix hit $36 a share. By the time Netflix hit $36 a share, that's when we had bought the house, and I said, you know what? I got to start learning about this company. So the first chunk of money that we had to spare, once I started learning these things, talked to my wife. She's like, what is this Netflix thing? Got some of this information, started using the service, loved the service, and we invested in Netflix. It was basically around $36 to $38 a share at that time. So let that sink in. All right, so I'm not saying you're going to jump from $100 to learning how to be a real estate or mutual fund or stock mogul. I'm just saying mindset is the reason that I talk through a lot of things more about mindset than money. So instead of thinking about, hey, this is $16, like I'm not going to worry about a net spend card. If you start thinking about how these things fit in and start utilizing these tools, follow along with these videos and find out more information for yourself, I want you to share your comments, testimonials, and things. These things changed my life. Many of these things I still use today. And we just went through 3 of them that could change the trajectory of where you want to be a year, 2 years, who knows, 5 years from now, who knows 5 years from now. But all I can say is thank you for joining me on this video. It is a 30-minute video, 31 minutes, going into 32, but I'm closing it out now. Hopefully you got something out of this. Questions, comments, go ahead and leave them. Send me an email. Love to help out as many as possible, but I have a team. I am only one man. So I think there are like 4,700 people that I deal with, that I'm responsible for. And that's all that I try to service, the 4,700 and the 100 actual people who are in my client base. All right. So hopefully you can hop in here. Thank you so much for joining. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification buttons, and just let me know how you did. All right. My name is Darrell. You guys have a great one, and stay safe.